Byron.
That's me.
Top of the morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Dose. Jereme Kleven here, accompanied by the Magic Man. Next to me here, my partner in crime and all things good, Mr. Mark Hutchins.
Yes. All things
and
good.
the furry animal, also known as the beast behind the glass, Mr. Byron Filson. Gentlemen,
Hello.
finally a lady in the room to, believe it or not, that was a tame intro, Tina.
I believe it.
It would have been a lot shakier and worse had you not been in the room. But we are joined back once again, Miss Tina Tamboer of the Cromford Report.
Hello.
Michael Orr's right-hand woman, an extension of, so to speak.
Yeah, he's my mentor. He's wonderful. He's a very good mentor. He makes workaholics look lazy, just saying.
I like it.
He's a worker.
We've had you on
He's
the Dose.
coming in soon too, isn't he?
Michael O's coming in, and then you're coming in for, we had workshop Wednesday yesterday, but a couple weeks down the road, I know you're going to be in our office, Scottsdale office, giving your presentation, obviously. A couple things we'll touch on the Dose, and I know you'll save some things for the class in a couple weeks too. So,
sure.
So we were talking yesterday on state of the market. So let's pick it up there. State of the market. What are we looking right now for inventory? I know nobody has a crystal ball. We can't predict 3 or 6 months down the road. But I know with all the numbers that you guys are tracking on really an everyday, almost hourly basis, we can predict just a little bit into the future. So what do we look like today, and what are we looking like for the short term?
Well, in terms of price appreciation, if you are under 200,000, we expect that market to continue moving up. Right now, we're at about 8%, 6 to 8% annual appreciation. I don't see any kind of change in that over the next 6 months or so because the supply is not coming on the market. So you get above 200, right around 2 to 3. It's more balancing out, actually more 2 to 5. It's balanced out in terms of supply, which means that your appreciation is still going to be pretty good, but it's not going to be as exciting. So I would say expect somewhere between 3-5% somewhere in there. Then when you get over 5, it's going to get very flat. We're in a balanced state in Scottsdale. When you're in a balanced state, you can expect your appreciation rates to follow the rate of inflation. And unfortunately, right now, inflation is 1.8%.
Low, yeah.
But
that's going to change soon.
Well, that's like good news, bad news, isn't it? It's like,
it is good news, bad news, because it's going to relate to one thing, but then it also helps the home values. But again, that's not.
But right around 5, you get over 500 to $1 million, expect those to be very flat. And then you get over $2 million, and we may actually start to see some declines. We're pretty much very close to a buyer's market if we're not already in a buyer's market in the over $1 million market. So
we asked yesterday, one of the things I asked was, what are kind of the hot button items? I referenced a couple years ago what the hot button items used to be until today. Is affordability creeping out into people's, minds right now and being priced out for the homes? Okay.
Our affordability rates are still very, very good. There's a
comparative to national?
Compared to the national, compared to other cities, we have an affordability rate of about 68%, which means the family median household income of right now is $64,000 a year, according to Wells Fargo and the National Association of Home Builders. They can afford about 68% of what sold last quarter. So that is a normal range for us. Just to give you a comparison, during the bubble, that number was 27%. So we're very happy with the way the affordability is. And people forget that even though prices are rising, we are at historical lows for these interest rates still, and interest rates have been keeping those monthly payments extremely affordable.
So low. It's almost scary how low it is.
Yes.
Because they're going to do something. I thought it'd been by now, but obviously they're probably all waiting for the election to go through first, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion about it. But that keeps, again, for refinances, I said it, refinance. I say refinance. I don't know. I can't say. I can't say refinance. I say refinance. I don't know. It's almost like vase, vase.
Tomato.
Yeah, exactly. But like I did that recently, and it's just scary when you look at the interest rate, right? Because everybody loves it for affordability of the homes, this and that, but it's also when we go back to inflation, things we're talking about.
Well, here's the interesting thing about interest rates. A lot of people think that if the interest rates go up, that's a bad thing. It's
a good thing.
It's a good thing. In fact, like we've said before, when you increase the interest rate, that is a level of risk for the lenders. At a low interest rate, remember when it's 3%, 3% doesn't help anybody if nobody can qualify for it. Their
Right.
lending practices were so tight, they didn't want to take any risk on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you add a little more interest to the money that the lenders are making, and they can start forgiving people for some of their transgressions. And when they do that, they approve more people across all your price points. Because as we know, just because someone has poor credit doesn't mean they're poor.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, somebody who could potentially afford, say, a $400,000 home, but can't qualify, now there's a higher interest rate. Now the lender can forgive some of their transgressions. And, it increases your
that normal 680 threshold and let them in at 650.
Yeah, exactly. Little things like that. I mean, ever so gradually. No, we don't want to get anywhere close to where they were in 2005.
No more 100% liar loans. Those are gone.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with, especially with so many boomerang buyers coming back off of foreclosure. We have more coming off of foreclosure and short sale credit issues this year than we did it last year. So,
and it sounds about right because they say last year was the year, but really people take more time because there's that recoup period.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have to feel like, I gotta be confident about
well,
it.
Last year was just the first year. That's the thing. Last year was just the first year. And so we had about 65 properties that were foreclosed on or short sold, where those were coming off of people's credit. Last year, we have 75,000 now coming in. So it's like, even for anybody who didn't take care of it last year, they are rolling over, and on top of the people who are, just getting that off their credit this year. So that is a big piece of where our demand is coming from. And to see lending practices loosen up with a little bit of an increase in your interest rate would not necessarily be something that would freak me out. I'd be
so if you have a home right now and you can, I'd say refinance. Number one, I'd say I got it, Byron. I'd say refinance now because and don't wait for the
don't refinance
and don't refinance. Don't refinance.
This sounds like an advertisement.
And the reason why is because everyone right now, it's like it's almost like the whole greedy seller thing. It's the greedy loan person, right? It's not I'm saying money wise, but like that. It's the greedy consumer. I'm going to wait till they get down to 3.5%. It's like, well, come on. If you're in the 4s and you can save 0.5% right now, just do it.
Most people
0.5% or more. That's
I have to say, most people who feel that way are those who have only really paid attention to real estate in the last 5 or 6 years.
They're just used to low rates.
Yeah. Right? Anybody who owned a home like in between 2000, 2003, or even in the 80s, they're like, they don't even think about the interest rate. They're like, that's low. I'll take it. So,
yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, I remember when I bought my first place, our interest rate was, Jereme and I bought the place together as an investment. It was 6.5%. We were doing cartwheels. Like, woohoo, 6.5%. Yeah.
Peak of price. So, 2006, we were still at 6%. 2006.
Oh, yeah. And that was a great rate. Mm-hmm. It still is. If you ask me, if you get 6% on a 30-year note, I mean, not comparatively to today, but I mean, that's still a good interest rate,
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of loans, though, here's one thing that is really affecting the appreciation rate versus our last seller's market of 2013 is that the appraisals are definitely way more of an influence than they were in 2005 and even in 2013 or 2011 through 2013, if you will, because the buyers we still have a few investors hanging out there, but they are not interested in overpriced listings. They're not going to pay over appraisal because they know that we're not in that same market. Mm-hmm. So investors are a lot more choosy. You have first-time home buyers who do not necessarily have the money to gap the bridge between appraisal and your final sale price. So their agents won't even show them a home that's overpriced. That's one of the reasons the under 200s were starting to see price reductions, because they won't even get the showing. Who wants to tie up their first-time home buyers' money in a property that they don't think is going to appraise? So then you've got your third type of buyer, who is your boomerang buyer coming off foreclosure and short sale. Mm-hmm. And you even mentioned to them, I think you should pay over appraisal, and they get PTSD. They're like, I don't know if you know me or not, but I've already done that in 2005 and 6. Didn't work out so well for me. Yeah. So they're not interested. Even if they have the money, a lot of them are very gun shy to pay over appraisal. And now your appraisers do not answer to you. You remember that?
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah.
They don't answer to the loan officer. They don't answer to the real estate agent. They don't answer to the buyer. They only answer to the bank, which is a big difference between 2005 and today. In 2013, appraisals didn't matter because a lot of our buyers were cash. They didn't care about appraisals either. So today, though, you have a similar situation where you have low supply, but now you have an appraisal industry that doesn't get pressured. So,
which I like. I mean, I know that we've seen this recently, where it's like we've seen a couple recently get cut. And I'm not for everybody listening. I'm not looking for you guys to get your appraisals cut. What I say I like about it is that you don't have anybody influencing, and they need to do their job, get off their back, kind of thing, even though they can't, and let them do it right. Now, granted, you have the opportunity to contest if you want to, but good luck, because they're really doing their job now, in my opinion, and they're doing a good job at it.
And they were really looked at. I mean, in 2005, there were a lot of arrangements between people. And so
I liked how you said arrangements. We won't even say what those are.
And so today, the appraisal industries look at much closer. So in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why we're seeing a more sustainable appreciation rate, even in the lower ends. Nothing crazy like that 20, 30, 50% that we were seeing before. And
it is a positive thing. Nobody out there likes to lose a deal over an appraisal, obviously, but as a whole, in general,
so
is a good thing.
That's what we've been seeing. When we saw the price reductions go up into under 200, what that said to me was that sellers coming down to a reality of their initial expectation was maybe I want to get 20% annual appreciation. Now they're going to settle for 8% appreciation. Right. So that was really more of an adjustment. It happened last quarter. Now the price reductions in the 200 range and below are pretty stable. We haven't seen any kind of fluctuation, but it was neat to see that adjustment.
Yep.
Well, let's stop. Were you doing the hook?
Mark,
we're on the same hook page today,
buddy. Yeah.
Well, I'm usually the time tasker. I'm like Kevin McClure at the school who keeps everybody a time tasker. So let's stop today. We got some great stuff to talk about tomorrow. Anything to plug today, Jereme?
No,
I think
nothing.
We had workshop
plug.
Wednesday, and now
we're moving on through the week.
We're just moving on through the week. So
let's tomorrow talk. Let's talk the tools and resources within the Cromford Report and how people can take what you're talking about along with the system itself to get more business. I know Mark was talking about that offline, and how we can take that data and take what we're going to learn and really kind of fine tooth our marketing.
Sure. We're also going to talk about what to say to that seller who wants to time the market.
There you go.
Yes. I love it.
So guys, keeping the train going with Miss Tina Tamboer. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Yes. I like that
last word.
Bye.
Yeah, the last
later.
word.
Usually Byron gets the last word. I love that.
She beat me.